So thanks everybody for coming. This is going to be pretty casual, just like a social webinar and workshop today that we're starting. Just to introduce myself, my name's Liz Trampus. I'm an insurance defense attorney over at Nelson Mullins in Atlanta. I've been practicing since 2016. I went to Mercer Law School in Macon, and I've been part of the Attorney Wellness Committee since 2021. I'm also part of the Wellness Connection Subcommittee, and this event is a workshop my co-moderators and I have put together as part of the Wellness Connections program, which focuses on planning regular events that allow attorneys to connect regarding various health and wellness topics throughout the year. This is actually our first event for 2022, so we're really excited that you all could be here today. I'm actually going to turn it over to my fellow moderator, Carrie, to introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you. I am Carrie Moss. I work at Binden, Summerall and Ladner in Midtown in Atlanta. I've been practicing since 2015, and I mostly do construction law, mostly insurance defense. And then I get to do a little bit of general liability and some pharmacy law as well. But I have a big interest in health and wellness, grew up playing sports and into exercise, and my boyfriend is a chiropractor. So something important in our household. And I just joined the wellness committee last year, I think in 2021. So it's been fun to get involved and get to know people. So I'm excited today to talk a little bit about my meditation practice with you all. Adam, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Sure. My name is Adam Ford. I'm a new committee member to the Health and Wellness, or the Wellness Committee. I am a litigator, business litigator with the firm of Baker Jenner. We're based in South Cobb, but practice all over Metro Atlanta. I specialize in employment law. And I also have a background in spirituality and religion. I have my bachelor's in religion and a master's in theology from Emory, and I've studied meditation and other practices for a while, and definitely have utilized them to my benefit, which I'll tell you more about, and excited to do this with Liz and Carrie tonight.
Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to start, guys, telling everyone about some of the health benefits of meditation. A lot of this comes from online resources, but also podcasts, books, and other things that we have created links for you guys. So afterwards, Liz is going to have a great resource sheet. So if you're interested in learning more and finding out the science behind meditation and more about the health benefits, there's a lot of good resources there for you to check out. So take a look at that and then let us know if you have any questions about it. But just to get started, meditation means to become familiar with. I think it involves a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness, really just getting to know yourself, kind of being still, taking a break and focusing on yourself. One of the best benefits for it for me that I've even noticed in my life is that increased self-awareness. Whether it just be a feeling of anxiety and realizing, hey, I'm stressed out right now and I need a break, or becoming more self-aware of your emotions and how you're reacting and showing up in life. Another benefit is improved focus and concentration. It helps protect your memory and your brain from cognitive decline. So it really helps you from aging, helps keep your brain working great. Another benefit is it boosts creativity. Some of you might have heard that a lot of, geniuses or creative people out there had some really good ideas, like in the middle of the night when they woke up from sleep, or even like in the shower. Maybe they thought of a good song lyric or something like that. And it's because your brain actually goes into different brain waves. We're not in that kind of type A mindset where we're thinking about, what goals do we have, what tasks are we working on, and we oftentimes go into other brain waves, such as theta waves or gamma waves, that allow you to kind of tap into your subconscious a little bit more, and sometimes think of an idea or something creative. So that's something really cool. Another benefit is improved mood and also sustained elevated mood. So again, something I really notice for myself is a calmness, especially if I'm doing my meditation like outside in nature. It really boosts my mood. Another benefit that kind of goes along with that self-awareness and the improved cognitive function is better decision making. So you might find that you're just more clear, make better decisions, later on in your day. Meditation has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It's even been shown to help reduce symptoms of PTSD. And another benefit is better sleep. This is one thing I really noticed in my own life, and why I actually started incorporating meditation in my own life regularly. When I first started, I was using an app, Headspace, that we have linked on our resource sheet, but I started using it as just a 10-minute guided meditation that I was doing before bed, and really helped me sleep a lot better. So it helps you sleep better in terms of better quality, but also makes it easier to fall asleep and helps you just get better sleep while you're resting. Another benefit is it's been shown to help relieve chronic pain and illness, which is really cool. Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's someone that we have linked on our resource sheet, has done a lot of research on people using meditation for healing physical illnesses. And just some small ones, for example, that come up in the research a lot are people with fibromyalgia or even stomach issues such as IBS have seen improvement from meditation. And if I think about it for myself, that makes sense, because a lot of times we have a tendency to store emotions in our stomach. You think about it, if you're anxious, you might feel that butterflies or something in your stomach, or anger, maybe you feel a knot there, and it can lead to stomach or gut issues. So meditation has been helped to relieve those. Another health benefit is improved cardiovascular health. And that's by lowering blood pressure and improving your cholesterol levels. It actually helps reduce your heart rate and improve your heart rate variability. So that basically means, how consistent it is, and if it's going up during the day, if you're getting really stressed, it helps kind of bring it back down. Another benefit that I've seen in my own life as well is increased patience and tolerance. And it just goes back to that feeling of calm, making better decisions. And then another one is enhanced willpower. I think this is a really cool one too. You might notice later in the day, you have a little bit more willpower to, say, maybe avoid sugar if that's one of your goals. Or I've noticed it in my workout classes, for example, that if I've done a meditation earlier in the day and I go to my workout class, I feel calmer, and that it's actually mentally easier to do those hard reps that I'm doing, and I have just that extra willpower. So again, ties back into better decision making and clarity. But that's just a really cool one that I've noticed, no matter how long a meditation is, or how bad I think it was because I was distracted, or I didn't feel like my mind was super silent. But then later I can see it show up in my life with just, again, that feeling of calmness or enhanced willpower and better workouts. The next thing I wanted to talk about is dispelling some myths around meditation. The first one is the idea that you have to be religious or a certain type of religion, or follow a specific type of spiritual belief, such as Buddhism. I think that's where meditation mostly came from in our society, is it from Buddhist influences. But you don't have to be religious at all whatsoever to meditate. It doesn't have to be something spiritual. And you don't have to, again, become Buddhist or any kind of other religion if you already hold a certain religious belief. you can make it as spiritual and as religious as you want. You can incorporate prayer, you can incorporate journaling, but it can simply be you just taking a few minutes to yourself to have some peace and quiet. And you don't have to bring any of that in at all. So I just don't want to discourage anyone who might be interested in meditation if they think that it might alter their religious beliefs in one way. Another myth I want to talk about is, that you have to sit and meditate for, 20 minutes or a certain period of time. Meditation is a practice, and it's flexible, and you can adjust it based on what works for you. So if you're starting out and you think the idea of sitting down and doing 20 minutes of transcendental meditation is just completely overwhelming and just not something you could ever do, start with 1 minute. It could be 1 minute, it could grow to 5 minutes, it could grow to 10 minutes. I mean, it can depend on day to day what you have going on. So whenever you get a chance, it's something that you can incorporate. One tip I heard from somebody was, they used to get really angry at their spouse if they were late. So they were going to dinner or something, and they would be just angry at them that they were having to wait on their spouse. Well, they started incorporating meditation into their life, and they decided to take that time while they were waiting and say, you know what, I'm going to be grateful that I have these extra 5 minutes, and I'm just going to meditate. So, you can be creative like that and squeeze it in whenever you get a chance. Another myth is that when you meditate, your mind has to be perfectly quiet. I think that's a hard idea for a lot of people. And, you have a lot going on in your mind. You're thinking about your to-do list. You have all these thoughts come up. And the idea of trying to keep your mind perfectly silent and still seems impossible. Well, it doesn't have to be like that. One, there's a lot of different types of meditations, which we're going to talk about later, and share some different types. But for example, one can be a guided meditation. That is, I think, a really good introduction to meditation if you haven't done it before. It's where you listen to somebody's voice that kind of helps you drop in, get into your subconscious and, kind of follow their lead, and they start to, just guide you. And, you listen to their voice, and they kind of guide you to help you think about, maybe something around you, like a sound, and think about your body, but just kind of help you get out of that mind and that to-do list that comes up. Other types of meditations involve, mantras, which we'll talk about, but that might be where you repeat a certain phrase or a word in your head that is helpful or something you want to focus on in your life. And then again, instead of, even if you're just trying to do a silent meditation, don't be discouraged if thoughts are coming up and you're thinking about things. I think the way it's been described to me that was helpful was, they're going to come up, but just let them come and go. Just try not to get stuck on them. And if you do, then just let it go as soon as you realize it. And then you might find silence again for a few seconds or a minute, and something comes back up again. But again, just try to let it go. And the more you practice, the more you'll be able to handle that silence, and trust that when you're done with your meditation, you're going to remember what you need to do on that to-do list, and it'll be there after. A next one is the idea that your meditation has to be perfect. Kind of ties back into what I was just saying, but this is a practice, and it's really difficult at first when we're so busy in our lives. We have so much going on, and we have so much stimulation from technology, electronics, TV. We're not used to sitting in silence. So it's something to practice. And again, you can, grow the amount of time that you do your meditation practice, or you might just find that, you get better at it and calming your mind as you go on, or, find different types that you like to do and incorporate whatever works for you. And then the last one is, meditation doesn't have to be just sitting cross-legged with your eyes closed. I remember the first time I think I ever meditated was actually in college, and I went to a Zen Buddhist center, and I had to go because of a class, and I really had no idea what to expect, and I just had to sit there kind of cross-legged, staring at the wall, for a long time. And I have no idea how long it even was. I couldn't have told you if it was 20 minutes or an hour. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm so uncomfortable and this is really difficult. And it was crazy. I left and I thought I had done so bad, kind of again, tying back into the idea you don't have to be perfect. I was like, that was so difficult. I was so uncomfortable and just thought, wow, that was really hard. But I left and I felt, I think, more calm than I'd ever been. It was a really crazy feeling. But, since then, I figured out a lot of different ways to meditate. One of the things I like to do is just lay down and be comfortable. And I like to use an eye mask if I want to go really deep into meditation. So I actually brought today, I figured I would show you mine. It's by a company called Blue Blocks. And they specialize in blue light glasses and a lot of things to help prevent like blue lights coming from your computer screen or your phone. So I actually have, some blue light glasses from them, but they make this eye mask and I like this one in particular, just because it's raised off your eyelids. So I don't know if you can see it, but it has kind of like pads that go around your eyes. So if you were to put it on and then, be wearing this at night while you're sleeping, while you're meditating, you can actually open your eyes and it still be dark. So it's just kind of nice. It doesn't put pressure on your eyelids if anyone's looking for a good eye mask. But I really find that it helps me just feel a lot deeper kind of in my subconscious when I use the eye mask. But another way I like to meditate is a walking meditation. And that's something we're going to talk about as well. But I like to just take a walk around the neighborhood and I listen to guided meditations, or sometimes, maybe when it's over, I'll just turn off my phone and not have anything and just listen to the sounds of nature and just enjoy that. So there's lots of ways to meditate, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more today. I'm going to turn it over now to Liz to talk about those different types.
Thanks, Carrie. All right, so just to sort of get started, as Carrie mentioned, we tend to associate meditation as sort of limited to meditating in a quiet space, solo in one position, and that's certainly not a requirement. One of the nice things about meditation is you can develop a practice that works best for you based on your individual needs. And several types do exist and are often available on meditation platforms and online resources, which Carrie mentioned. We did develop a resource sheet that will be going out to you all after the workshop. So that way, hopefully you can find some inspiration from those resources as well. So I'm going to talk about just my experience with a particular type of medication briefly, and then Adam and Carrie are going to talk a little more about their experiences with other types. So hopefully you have some inspiration for new ideas and methods to develop your own customized meditation practice or add to the practice that you currently have. So as Carrie mentioned, one of the first choices that people typically make is whether to do guided meditation or unguided meditation. And as Carrie mentioned, guided is often really a good choice if you are new to meditation, and it is available on most of the resources and platforms that we've included on a resource sheet. But beyond simply deciding between guided and unguided, you may want to find other ways to incorporate meditation into your other health and wellness goals as well. So Carrie mentioned incorporating meditation into other physical activity. And as she mentioned, it's an option to certainly incorporate a moment of meditation or time to meditate into a physical activity such as walking, running, stretching, or even attending a restorative yoga class. If you've been doing guided meditation through various platforms as well, you can take the different mantras and different methods that you've learned through those guided meditations and actually incorporate them as part of your physical exercise routine. So that way you're accomplishing multiple goals too at one time. Knowing that we are all very busy lawyers and have a lot going on, that might be a really good way to incorporate some extra meditation time for you and also still accomplish your other health and wellness goals. If you have an interest or already attend yoga classes, I would definitely recommend considering adding a restorative yoga class to your routine if you haven't thought about it or attempted it in the past. If you're unfamiliar with it, I've actually taken several classes for restorative yoga, and I have to say it's probably my favorite type of yoga because it's basically credit for exercise while you're resting, to be quite honest. Usually the class is in a more darkened room or environment. Blankets are commonly encouraged. I've seen instructors use scented pillows or other types of incense and room spray in order to enhance that experience as well. Eye masks, very similar to what Carrie was just mentioning and demonstrating before. And the poses that are utilized in a restorative yoga class typically can be done by all fitness levels in my experience. So they include poses such as corpse pose, which if you're familiar with that, it's basically laying down. It's a very simple introductory yoga position. And the class also typically includes a period of silence, specifically so that you can incorporate some self-guided meditation during that period of time. One of the other things I wanted to mention before moving on is why you even want to consider building a meditation practice or including it in your current wellness goals if you're a lawyer. So as Carrie mentioned, there are a lot of people who report an increased ability to cope with highly stressful and anxiety-inducing situations, not just personally, but also professionally. So by incorporating meditation and similar practices, you may also have an increased ability to deal with the type of stress and anxiety that we often deal with in this particular career field. However, I will also say the area of meditation research has had quite a bit of difficulty with things like research design and effective sample size. And I've also included some resources on the resource sheet we're going to send later so that you can review some of the scientific articles that have been written about it as well for your own review and analysis. And with that, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over to Adam to talk a little bit about his experience with Transcendental Meditation.
Thanks, Liz and Carrie. I will say I was first introduced to meditation when I was an undergrad studying religion. I thought it was completely whack. I didn't get it. Studied it a little while in graduate school when I was getting my master's in theology. It was in the context of poetry, still didn't get it. I got it in law school. I got it in law school when I was struggling with my ADHD, and my therapist advised that I try meditation as a coping strategy. And so I was meditating for 15 minutes twice a day, transcendental meditation, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I will tell you that between my first year and my second and third year, my grades shot up as a result. And I directly attribute that to my meditation practice. So to me, that was a very tangible result, and it's something real and can benefit us all. So we're going to talk about some things that different practices that help us, and I'm going to talk about the practices that I like the most. So transcendental meditation is actually pretty broad. I think it's what most people think of when they think about what meditation is. And I was trying to find a pretty concise explanation of what it is. And honestly, WebMD had the best one I could find. So there it is. It's WebMD's explanation about this. But it really is just sitting quietly, closing your eyes, avoiding distractions, and really focusing on your being and focusing on your presence. And it normally does incorporate some kind of mantra. The mantra can be your breath, counting your breath, 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 out, counting 1 breath, 2 breath, 3 breath. Really, you don't want to go higher than 10. You're just really focusing on yourself. And you do notice in transcendental meditation when those like thoughts start creeping in your brain. Like, what do you do with those? In transcendental meditation, what you do is you put those in a little box. You literally, in my head, like I have a box, and a thought will creep in, and I will say, I'm going to put that in the box. I'm going to put it over here, And I'm going to think about that later. This is not for right now. I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to focus on my presence. And that's what Transcendental Meditation is. The next one is Chakra Meditation. This is a lot more complicated, but I love it. And it's something that I practice regularly. What are the chakras? What? That's weird. Oh my God, it's woo-woo. Chakras came down from the Vedics in India, from the Vedas. It's the first known documentation of them. But what essentially chakras are centers of consciousness within our body. You ever heard trust your heart, trust your gut, speak your truth? The idea behind chakras is that our consciousness does not necessarily all reside in our brain, but it resides in different areas of our body. So you have your root chakra, you have your sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown. And I get it, this is a little woo-woo, but I think if you pay attention to your body, the times you get nervous, the times that you feel awkward in situations, they're coming from somewhere in your body. And the idea with chakras is that, well, we need those different centers of consciousness within our body to communicate. And what chakra meditation is about opening the flow of communication between those different chakras in our body. You want the kundalini, as the Vedics would say, to flow within your body, to heighten your consciousness, heighten your presence. Again, it's a little woo-woo, it's a little complicated, but it's something that I like, I really appreciate. Third thing that I really like is sound meditation. We're going to be actually, our whole next Connections event will be on this sound meditation and sound therapies. So I'm just going to give you a little hint about what that's about tonight. But sound meditation is all about utilizing sound and vibrations. At the end of the day, we're all big sacks of water. Biologically, we are sacks of water. So you think about how sound affects water. If you've ever seen like a speaker up against a glass of water, or even thrown a stone into a pond, you'll see how that vibration interacts. And that's how sound interacts with us. So one of the big ways that you can utilize this in your meditation is through sound bowls. This is an ancient Tibetan tradition. And there's a variety of different sound bowls that activate different chakras and things, but it's complicated. It's really simple. It's just like you find a sound that feels good, and you go with that sound, and you just go with it. Another one that's really helpful is binaural beats. I am a big fan of binaural beats. I use them at work. The idea is that you have two different wave frequencies going into your ears, and you are activating a specific brain wave within your mind that helps you concentrate, or helps you relax, or helps you sleep, or helps you do whatever you want to do. So it's really interesting. So those are my three favorites. And in a little bit, I'm going to introduce my fourth favorite, which is a visualization meditation. Whenever we're ready for that, I will happily lead that.
Hey guys, I was going to talk a little bit more about my meditation practice. I mentioned earlier that I like to do walking meditation sometimes. Other times it's really just squeezing in, a minute or two here. I've used it at work, for example, when I've gotten to work and I just feel like my to-do list is overwhelming and I'm feeling really frantic that day. And I say, you know what? I'm just going to take 1 minute. I'm going to shut my door. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to take a few deep breaths and breathe. Dr. Mark Hyman, who is on the resource sheet that we created, he says, you often think you're so busy that you don't have time to meditate. He's like, I realize I'm so busy, I can't not meditate. I need to find that time because otherwise I just can't get organized. I can't focus and be productive throughout the day. So I really find that it helps me to even just take, 1 or 2 minutes in the morning, if I'm feeling really stressed out or something, to do that. But besides those options, the most frequent way that I incorporate meditation these days is actually through this course that's called To Be Magnetic. It's actually a course on manifestation. I don't know if anyone's heard about that. It's, I think, a trendy kind of popular term being thrown around right now, especially like on social media or the internet. And there's a lot of people talking about manifestation, what it means. And there was that, I guess, movie or documentary on Netflix that came out a few years ago called The Secret, where they kind of touch on it. I think a lot of that sounds a little bit woo-woo and out there, but I found this course that has really changed my life, and I think has been a great resource. And the founder, Lacey Phillips, she distinguishes her course in that it incorporates ideas about neuroscience. And so she, has a psychologist on board on her team and does a lot of research to figure out, how can we actually change our brain. And her idea behind manifestation, which is, manifesting something that you want in your life, whether it be a material object or, success, something in your career, a relationship, whatever, it all comes down to your self-worth. And it's, it's your subconscious worth. You can sit there all day to your blue in the face saying, I am abundant, but it's not really going to do anything unless you truly believe that. So she has, this online course that incorporates meditations and, journaling and lessons to kind of work on these different, areas. For example, she has a workshop on love. She has a workshop on money. But the focus of these meditations is to kind of get down into your subconscious, and it involves visualization techniques. So, you can kind of imagine you actually getting what you want. A lot of the work too in the course that she recommends that you start with is what she calls inner child and shadow work. So your shadow is something that you reject about yourself. Maybe it's an insecurity, or maybe it's, a compliment that you get, but that you feel like you can't accept, and, you're not good enough. You can't really own it. The inner child refers to basically just childhood stuff that you grew up with. We all have our own, versions of, small traumas and big traumas in our life that, affect us as we get older. So she has workshops focusing on those. And again, the idea is kind of getting back to what she calls your authentic self and your most worthy self. So these meditations, she calls them deep imaginings, or DIs. And they're like 20 to 30 minutes, and it's basically a guided meditation where at the beginning you take a few deep breaths, and then oftentimes you imagine kind of, sucking all the negative emotions and feelings out of your body, or maybe it's, you imagine kind of honey melting you and trying to get you to a state where you can relax. And then the focus shifts to kind of whatever you're working on. So maybe it's kind of working on that inner child stuff today, or maybe another one is about feeling deserving or feeling abundant, or trying to manifest something that you want in your life. But it's been really crazy for me. Again, the biggest benefit I've got is not necessarily materialistic, but it's that improved confidence and improved self-worth. And so that's just a really cool way that I've been able to incorporate meditation, is actually kind of trying to focus on how can I improve myself? How can I grow? How can I be a better person and, kind of get what I want out of life? So That course is really cool. And she has a podcast called the Expanded Podcast that we've put on our resource sheet too, if you want to check it out. I actually heard about the course originally on Goop. So Lacey Phillips was on Goop kind of explaining what it was. And again, it's so crazy looking back. I've been doing this since like 2018 or 2019. And pretty wild that I would hear this and decide I'm going to do this course. And it was just like not like me to start, but it's really been life-changing. And I really did manifest my house that I'm sitting in right now. I made a list and basically found exactly what I wanted. It was wild. So if anybody wants to hear more about that, I'm happy to share another time, but check out her course if you want, and the podcast. And she has some really great people on there too, talking about meditation. There was one the other day where she had someone on there talking about how she walks every morning, and that's her version of meditation. And, she gets a lot out of it. So that's, one thing I've started to incorporate too. I'll walk around the neighborhood. I'll listen to these guided meditations. And I really like that. And I think the walking is cool because I've heard, so Dr. Joe Dispenza, he was on her podcast, and, he's really big in the neuroscience world and has done a lot of work using meditation for physical healing and even like spontaneous remissions and spontaneous healing. And he talks about how in his course, in his practice, when he's teaching people, you start out doing the meditation, with your eyes closed. And then eventually he transitions to get people to do a walking meditation and doing the, his same kind of guided meditations or whatever, walking, because at some point you have to be able to become that version of yourself that you want to be while you're awake. You have to start being able to live it in your life. So I've started to like to do the walking meditation, do that guided, deep imagining, and kind of imagining my best self while I'm awake. And, lawyers always love to multitask and cram in things. So it's a great way to just kind of get outside, get some exercise, take a nice lunch break, but also just take that time to either work on myself or, like I said, if I'm not doing the guided meditation, maybe it's just not listening to anything and walking around the neighborhood, just looking at nature. I heard too the other day somebody say, walking is a really good practice because it's basically the pace that humans are supposed to go at. We're so used to driving everywhere, or, now we exercise and we run. But when we do that, we don't really get the time to slow down and actually appreciate what's around us. And if you're walking, especially, around nature, maybe you realize something that you wouldn't have realized if you were just driving by. You pay more attention to stuff. Maybe you kind of see the patterns in nature or something beautiful that you wouldn't have noticed. So I think it's a good way to incorporate meditation, especially if the idea of just sitting still for 20 minutes seems really difficult to you. You can still get a lot of great mental and physical benefits from the walking meditation. So I really like that as well.
Yeah. Though also the cool thing about walking is that it actually activates communication between the lobes of your brain, because it's the bipedal movement that activates the connections between the brain. So thank you, Carrie. That's really awesome. So I'm now going to move into the next segment. We're just going to do a very short guided meditation, just to say like, hey, what does this look like? And to do this, I'm actually going to move over here to the couch. I'm going to like loosen my tie, unbutton this top collar, which is a little too thick.
And Adam, before you start that, I wanted to share, because I actually mentioned this before, if anyone's looking for more items and tools for their meditation practice, I actually utilize a meditation cushion. It looks like this. You can get these online, but quite frankly, the typical recommendation is to go to an actual shop where you can sort of test the the cushion and make sure that it works for you and your posture correctly, so that you can make sure that if you want to do a longer meditation practice, you're going to be comfortable during the time that you're actually doing that. I actually just kind of got lucky that this one worked for me off of Amazon, but certainly some of the places that we've listed on our resource sheet can help you find and locate a great meditation cushion as well.
Awesome. I've got my meditation buddy here, Nugget. He decided he wants to join in. So this is going to be a little abbreviated version of a guided meditation. I'm just going to hit on some highlights of things that have benefited me and others that we talked through on some things. I will say I'm going to hit some high points in the guided meditation, but realize that in a true full 15-minute meditation, there's going to be a lot of silence in between these points. So one other thing to give you a heads up about is that this is going to be a visualization meditation. It's similar to the manifestation meditation that Carrie talked about, but this is more it's a little more simple. You're not actually trying to attain a goal or anything. You're just visualizing a thing and how it interacts with you. So for this purpose of this meditation, we are going to visualize sunlight, and what I would call liquid sunlight. And to be fair, I'm stealing a lot of this from the Headspace app and their balance meditation, which I love. And I use this a lot. Even though I stopped paying for it a little while ago, I still use it because it's such a great visualization. So when I talk about visualizing light, think about sunlight, think about liquid sunlight, and all the good things that sunlight brings to your body. So this is really just 5 minutes, just so we can kind of go through the motions. And then after that, we're going to talk to you guys. We want to hear from everybody and talk about your meditation experiences and things that have worked for you or not. So, all right, you ready? All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to start by taking a deep breath. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3. Take one extra breath at the top. Release. 1, 2, 3. Another breath, another deep breath, just like that. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little extra breath at the top. Little extra breath. Release. 1, 2, 3. Now do it on your own. Take that deep breath. Take that little bit of extra breath at the top. Inhale. Exhale. Feel your body. Feel the weight of your body against your seat. Feel the gravity of your body. Feel it weighing down where you are. Keep breathing. Take that deep breath in. Take a second to feel where in your body you're holding stress. Maybe it's in your chest. Maybe it's in your stomach. Maybe it's in your neck. You may have no stress at all. Just take a second to feel how that feels in your body. Take a breath. Take one sip at the top, and then exhale it out. 1, 2, 3. Keep breathing. Listen to your breath. If you hear sounds, or if thoughts start to creep in about your day, about what's happened today, or what needs to happen tomorrow, put those into the box. Put those into the nice little neat box over to the side. Just put them in there. They'll be there when we're done. But for now, we're doing this. Breathe in. Breathe out. Above your head, you'll notice a bright, warm light. It's bright, it's warm, it's full of love and compassion, and it's wants so badly to creep into your body. You may not be ready yet, and that's okay. But if you're ready, then picture your body as like a big vase, a big vessel with nooks and crannies that are ready to be filled. And allow that warm, liquid sunlight to come in through the top of your head and flow down deep and through your body, all the way to your toes. And that warm light begins to fill up through your toes, through your feet, through your calves. And as the more it fills you, the more it melts away the stress, the tightness, the feelings that you have in your body, and fills them with just light and energy and joy and love. That light is continuing to fill you up, flowing up from your feet, your calves, up into your legs, past your waist. Each step just melting away the tightness, the stress, whatever you may be holding from the day. Keeps filling up through your chest. Oh, this is my favorite part. It begins to spill down your arms. Spilling down into your fingers. The warmth, the light, everything melting away. Goes up, up through your neck, into your head. And your body's full. And that light begins to shoot out of you, out of your body, out of your head. You are the light. You are that joy, that peace, that relaxation. This is your body. These are your terms. And your intention is peace and light for now. In this moment, it is light. So let's finish by taking a big deep breath in and a deep breath out. How do y'all feel?
Relaxed.
Yeah, more focused for sure.
Calmer, more calm.
I have to say, I enjoyed that so much more doing it with all of you here. Like, I definitely feel the presence of other people when I meditate with other people. That was really awesome. Thank you guys for joining me with that. Thank you.
I think, does anyone have any questions or any thoughts they wanted to share about their own experiences or any challenges they maybe had with incorporating meditation or similar practices before we head out for the night?
I have a quick question. So I heard at the beginning of the presentation, 15 minutes, maybe in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. If you're just starting off, is 15 minutes a good goal for meditation to feel like to, in fact, get something positive physically and spiritually out of it?
I will say my therapist told me in law school that the studies showed that you need to do at least 15 minutes twice a day. That always sounded like a lot to me. I've also seen stuff that's saying, like Carrie said earlier, that just take a few minutes out of a day to start. So, you know, I'll just say I was so impressed by Liz and Carrie's research and like all they're attorneys, like we're just people, right? Like, and just sharing our own research and experiences with this stuff. We're not experts on this, and we're sharing what's worked for us.
Sure.
Yeah, and I will say for me, I got my maximum benefit when I was meditating at least 15 minutes twice a day. But like, you can also get a lot of benefit from doing much shorter sessions, like just taking a breath. Like, honestly, when I go to work is like my kind of meditation moment, when I put some like chill music on, I put on my binaural beats and just do my breathing exercises as I go up 75. Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the nice, oh, sorry, Adam. I mean, I think one of the nice things about meditation, similar to what we were talking about earlier, is it's very much a customizable, you do what works for you program. I do not think that it has to be a one-size-fits-all concept, which is what's great about it. And the other nice thing is, if you do a little bit of research on mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is another concept that is incorporated into meditation, the University of Massachusetts School of Medicine actually has some great information out there for you as well, just about what they've seen when they've trained people of all skill levels, because they actually offer courses remotely and also in person for training meditation for just a number of different reasons. So I really think you can do whatever works for you to get started, and starting is kind of the the whole goal is just getting started with it, so you can benefit from it long term. I'm sorry, Avarita, you had your hand up. I wanted to make sure.
Right. I came in a little late and I didn't know. I just wanted to tell you all who I am and what I think about tonight's program. I'm the former director of the Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism and a few other things, and I've been on the Wellness Committee for a long time. And I'm looking at everybody here. I know I'm the most senior attorney. I do think that anything like meditation that is positive and makes people stop for a few minutes and just focus on breathing and being in the moment. You know, we're so wired. I'm sitting here with a laptop, my desktop, 2 iPads, and an iPhone. And sometimes I actually am on all of them. So I do think that we just need to unplug. I've personally done meditation. I prefer prayer because I'm not just a spiritual, I am a religious practitioner. And I don't mind telling you that. I'll tell anybody. And I've had cancer twice and I'm still here. So I do think that anything that makes people stop, focus on themselves, in particular women, and you've probably heard the crisis with Black women, is we're just on overload. And we take care of everybody else's needs before our own. And sometimes I've had to reach out to people, or they came to me when they were in the bar center and they were stressed. I used to be on the top floor, kind of hiding out up there. And I would just say, you know, sit with me, I'll talk with you, I'll pray with you. And sometimes people just need that. So I just think that this is something that we could share with a lot of people. For those of us who are, you know, who pray a lot, twice a day and sometimes more, I do think that they need to understand how to incorporate all of this into just becoming centered and taking care of yourself. The people who I knew didn't have ego problems and need, you know, the personal, that type of strengthening themselves. They probably had 2 strong egos and wouldn't let themselves relax. So, you know, we'll be working more with you in the committee. We had a meeting today about having a wellness, another seminar and retreat. So we'll probably be calling upon you. And I do encourage you to tell your colleagues that this is not just a bunch of, you know, liberal BS. It's really something that you need to do for yourself and for the world, because there's a lot of people walking around very mad, very stressed, very angry, and they need to get a grip. So thank you for doing this. I really appreciated it.
Thank you, Everita. And I will reiterate, like, the science, especially that Carrie focused on. I mean, these are proven strategies.
I don't know why Dawn is on here 3 times, but I'm going to leave that alone. My past
Because
president.
when I sent it to the listserv, the Gabon listserv, I failed to recognize that it was a link apparently to me because I registered. So
Okay.
at one point there were 4 Don Joneses. So I sent a chat to Adam to explain so you guys wouldn't think we were being or something.
As far as I'm concerned, the more Don Joneses there are in the world, the better we are.
See?
I got on and I thought I wanted to make sure my Gabon sisters knew about this event, and my brother, my actual blood brother.
Hey, Owen.
And Dawn, I appreciate you for it. I'm one of the Dawn Joneses, and I truly, truly appreciate you for sending that to Gabwa.
I know that voice. Is that your real brother? Hi, nice to meet you.
It's my brother in Louisiana. And not to take over this conversation, I saw him over Thanksgiving, and it was funny because as we get older, and I'm the oldest, so I'm the boss of him, just in case anybody didn't know that. But as we get older, we've been having more conversations about just health in general. And last year, as president of the bar, I was so appreciative of this committee, and frankly, all of the work you do is absolutely critical to the health and well-being of our profession. Obviously of ourselves individually and of the public and citizens we serve. I have no doubt about that. So I'm grateful, and I'm going to do my best not to have you guys remain a best kept secret, even if that means 4 or 5 Don Joneses at a presentation.
Extra.
Well, I think if anything, I think just this tonight, this very simple thing we did with Liz and Carrie, the expertise they bring to the table, you know, and the benefit that it brings to our lives and our practice is going to be exponential just for our clients and for society, right?
Absolutely. And I think you took my blood pressure down 10 points just with that last 15-minute exercise.
See? And we have a lot of people that just need to chill out. So, you know, sometimes I was in law school at the same time my husband was in med school. And one of the first things he did is he said, the patient has the disease. The first thing that you do is take your own pulse. And I never forgot that. So we really need something like this. Thank you.
So next month, we're going to be doing the sound therapy meditation. It's going to be the second Tuesday of the month. So look out for that.
And also, I stuck it in the chat, but just to let everyone know, we will send out the resource sheet that we developed, which hopefully has some great tips for you guys, resources that you can connect with in the community and online, and also a little feedback survey if you'd like to just let us know how you enjoyed tonight's event and what you might be looking forward to in the future for upcoming wellness committee events as well.
Awesome. Adam, I think my brother wanted to comment.
I just wanted to say real quick that I appreciate being invited, and a lot of good stuff that I heard tonight. I'm an hour behind y'all, so it's only 6 o'clock here. But I'm not a millennial, but I embrace a lot of things from a technology sense, and even the idea of having my Apple Watch, which tells me when to stand up once an hour and when to reflect for a minute and breathe. All of that is kind of encompassing what you're talking about. So even to do it for a minute here, a minute there, it adds up. Just the idea of having a whole 15 minutes to devote to something with as busy a day that we have, where we have 10 meetings a day and I barely have time for lunch or to take a bathroom break. The fact that my watch and the technology around me keeps me on task to take these little breaks is what's appreciated. So just encompassing that and what you're talking about now is a good deal all the way around. So thank you.
This was great.
Well, I think if anyone has anything else to say, otherwise I think we're probably all set. Thank you all so much again for coming. As Anna mentioned, we have another great event that we're planning in a few short weeks, and we're going to continue planning more events for the rest of the year. So we look forward to everyone coming and enjoying in the future as well. Thank you all so much.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.